You know, I've got a pretty interesting story to tell. I took some time off. I went to Maui. I did every agent's dream. My son was 5 years old, went to Lahaina in West Maui. I worked so much. It was really nice to raise my son in a different environment. My wife took time off as well. She was a local school teacher here in the South Bay. But I'm a bit of a type A personality, and so it's like I'm either at 0 or 100, and I got to find that balance. And I guess that's pretty much the key with everybody in their business. I miss real estate though. I miss the South Bay. We thought we'd come back, and geez, so I had a stroke. So December 6, 2021, I dropped my son off at school at Miracosta. 2.5 hours later, I'm in the ambulance, non-responsive, with the respirator down my throat and my heart having irregular heartbeats. They called my wife, but they let her know that I probably was not going to make it through that night. My brain was bleeding. I was suffering a stroke. 37 days of little company Mary. I got a stent in my heart. I got a shunt in my head. It's like I'm superhuman. It just wasn't my time. You know, people always say, oh, you should appreciate this more. You never know when tomorrow is going to be your last. It's a real thing, and I'm living proof of that. I did 6 hours a day, 6 months, 5 days a week rehab. The simplest of rehab. It started out with 2 + 2 is 4 and the days of the week, and they were taking me to Starbucks, and I was in a stroller, and then I went to a bike, and then I went to running, and it was a long process. I remember the heart monitor flashing one night, possible brain damage, and getting freaked out and thinking, wow, this is when you can just give up. And I made a choice then. I'm like, my son's, 15 years old, freshman at Miracosta, this ain't happening. That was my first choice, to choose living over anything else. Ironically, it was a brain injury, and it's my brain that's actually performing really well. When something happens in your life, whether it's a heart attack or a stroke or some sort of major health problem, we're terrified about somebody looking at us different. If I told somebody I had a stroke, they're going to be looking at me and saying, well, is he talking out of his corner of his mouth funny? Is he walking funny? And unfortunately, what that did is that I was unable to share it to anybody, and I kept it inside. I'm going to get better from telling this to people. There's going to be people that's going to see the video, call me up and say, oh my gosh, my wife went through this and she was so terrified to tell people. She had no confidence and she didn't go back to work, or she didn't do her rehab. Can you talk to her? I'll be like, yes, of course. Well, we don't want to sell our house, but we still would like you to talk to her. This is awesome. I would love to do that. I would love to sit down with somebody and we'll go to Starbucks and I'll tell you my story. I want more. I just want to do more of everything. And you know what? If these videos, if somebody thinks my story's so great and they're convinced that I can sell their house and that I'm somebody interesting to be around during the process of selling your house and that I'm good at what I do, that's great. Each deal is very, very important to me. So I hope that there's something in this video or something in me that you've seen that you can identify with. Because quite honestly, when you hire me to be a real estate guy, we're buddies for a couple months. We do a lot of communication. I don't just get hired and then move on to the next place. You and I are working together. And I'm going to do a bunch of these videos. If you did like it, you can press like on the screen. You can subscribe to my channel. I'm Boyd the Broker. Let's connect.